Hey, welcome Steve DiOrio to the Paul Cervizzi Show. What an honor to have a dear friend, a martial arts colleague, and more importantly, a wonderful human being.
Thank you, Paul.
You've got quite a story to unpack, and as you know, the show's about black belt mindset, the
Yeah.
qualities of a black belt, as it transcends into the business world and personal life. You know that
Yeah.
that grit, that ability to fall down, pick yourself back up, adaptability,
Right.
right? Being open and have a willingness to let things happen, and also changing, modifying, and
Mm.
adapting in real life situations. So you've got quite a story, and let's delve right into it. So, besides being an author, which we're going to get into the book, a 50-year soon-to-be practitioner of the
Mhm.
arts, a musician, a business owner with um, various expertise. Let's talk a little bit about your younger years.
Uh,
I just learned, even though we've known each other for a long time, I just learned that at 9 years old you started your journey. So
That's right.
tell me a little bit about where'd you grow up?
Sure. So we started in Dorchester. I was born in
Dorchester.
Dorchester.
Y-
Yo, Dot.
yeah,
Ready, Dot. Upton's Corner,
there you
St.
go.
Margaret's.
St.
From
Margaret's.
Dorchester originally. We moved out to the suburbs around second or third grade. I don't remember that clearly
Okay.
when that was. But the Dorchester mindset is in there.
Yes. Yeah.
Winthrop boy, you know what I'm
Yeah, I
talking
know.
about.
We
You
still
know what I
got it.
mean?
Hey, how
You
you
know what
doing?
I mean? But so my parents they both had those like regular 9 to 5. My mother worked in a factory. She's an Irish immigrant. She
Yep.
came here in 1955. Proud to tell you, they got married on a Saturday, and she was back to work on Monday.
Oh, yeah, I
That
believe
was
it.
that's the generation. This is
Not
what.
the 1 year, 1 month, 2 month overseas destination wedding. We're gonna take,
Well, they had a destination wedding. The destination was City Hall.
Yeah, I get
That's
it. I get it.
yeah, different generation, a different mindset. My father was from the North End, right? His parents were both immigrants from Italy.
Really
Yeah, oh yeah, My father was generation American.
cool.
Um, Left school at eighth grade.
Your dad,
My dad did, yeah, had an eighth grade education. That's as far as he went. Still, I will tell you, he's one of the smartest human beings I've ever met.
absolutely. Yep.
I learned it from him, autodidact,
Autodidact from
which means
someone that
self-educated. And he was
self-educated.
extremely self-educated to a high degree. He was a very, very brilliant man, just without the formal education. My mother, in the old country, in Ireland, she's from Belfast, Northern Ireland. Her schooling consisted of going to the linen factory and doing a 8-hour shift in the linen factory, followed by 8 hours in the factory school.
Wow.
That was a day.
So you were brought into this mindset, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
of you got to put yourself out there, and you're working not
Yeah.
a hybrid work week, not to get into that, but
You're right.
well, they're working 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, probably multiple different jobs,
Hmm.
I would guess.
Absolutely.
What kind of work were they into at that time?
My mother worked in a factory. She worked for Gillette's.
Get out.
Yeah, this the factory in South Boston,
Yep,
right?
yep.
She worked there from the moment she arrived in this country, basically, until she retired in her 60s. So she was there 40 plus years. And my dad worked for the MDC.
Oh, I remember.
Most of his
Metropolitan District
the
Commission.
commission,
I
yeah.
remember.
Most of his time was spent at the Franklin Park Zoo, and he did a variety of different jobs while he was there. I think this is where I get it from. He was a painter, laborer. Um, he ended up being specializing in the care of bears.
Beers.
Bears.
Wow.
That was his, yeah,
Yikes.
yeah. So he's like a veterinary assistant with bears.
So he wore many hats. Kind of
Indeed.
what you do, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
kind
I
of
think
what
this
we
is
do.
where
Many hats.
I kind of get it from. Is this? My father was the kind of guy who was never completely satisfied with what he was doing. He was always pushing something on the side, taking a course in business, whatever. He was always improving himself in a new direction at all times. He was never one to sit back and say, "That's enough. I'm good."
Where does it, so this is an awesome point. Where, I'll call it passion or curiosity or drive, whatever
Yeah.
we want to call it. You have someone coming from another country,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
With a limited education,
Yeah.
who is working nonstop,
Yeah.
but still pushing it.
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
I kind of think it comes from my family and a number of members of my family. I think it really comes from the fact that if you're an immigrant or you're first generation here, you sometimes are more aware that there's opportunity in front of you here that doesn't exist in other places,
Ah,
right? Why did my father push so hard here? Because he could.
because he could.
Because he could. You can improve yourself. You can better yourself here. In old-fashioned Europe, that wasn't so. If you were from this class of people, you're a
Right.
worker. That's all you'll ever be. That's all you'll ever
And you
be.
stay there.
And you're stuck. You're socially immobile, right?
Okay.
Here in the United States, you can be anything you want to be.
Anything you want to
Anything you
be.
want to be. And the nugget, the cart that pushes that
Yeah, yeah.
along is education. Whether it's formal education or in my father's case, self-education. The more you know, the further you can go.
Right. So we always talk about knowledge is power, right? And
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be conventional education.
No, no.
Point on right here. And many of the guests that I've had on, it's becoming more and more of the story is that education comes in so many different forms,
Yes, it
right?
does.
And
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
awesome. All right. So then when do you start working? Now that you get these two parents that are obviously self-driven, self-motivating, and see opportunity
Yep,
waiting on the doorstep.
that's it.
What happens to you growing
Well,
up like that?
so they're both of my parents are. I know some people don't like the word, but they're hustlers.
Yeah.
They you got to get money where you can, got to get money when you can. Stay on this side of the law,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
not illegal, but work. And my father was always doing stuff. He'd pick up a case of toy cars, little battery operated
Yeah.
toy
Yeah.
cars. He'd go to work and he'd sell them to the guys who work at a profit, right? Just he
So anything that came the way, he took advantage
had
of.
a basement that had AM, FM radios, cassette players, women's pantsuits. It was the 70s, right? So
Ah,
plastic jewelry
yeah,
and
yeah.
platform shoes.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, I was the beneficiary of all this stuff. You should have seen the way I dressed in high school.
I love it. I love it. But
This
all
is why I
the
had to learn to fight.
of course, but all the while he's working his regular
And he's
job.
working his regular
He's
job and he's
working
got
raising a family with
exactly.
your mom,
Yep.
and she's doing the same thing.
He's just doing the same thing.
So
Yep.
did you help out and like so where did you
I had no choice.
had no choice. So how old were you when you entered your
So
job world?
my first job was I ran a table at a flea market for my parents.
How old were you?
I was 9. I was 9 years old.
9 years
Yeah.
old. That's
Yeah.
like fourth grade.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the heck did you know about anything?
Here's the cool thing about something like that when you're 9 years old. Because you're 9 years old, you don't know that you can't. So you do.
Ah. And we see that in the arts a lot, right? You see the
Absolutely.
kids, you know,
Yeah.
you're a big part and supporter of our tournaments that we have. The kids are
Yes.
going out there and they're doing the
Yes.
things,
Yeah.
and then the adults, I'm not doing that. I'm not
Yeah.
doing that. So
Fear is
that's
fear. Fear is contagious.
fear is contagious.
So we try to cure fear as quick as we can.
Exactly.
But yeah, when you're 9 years old, anything is possible. If the adults you trust you, you're good.
So you're selling different items at a
I'm
where were the
I'm
flea?
taking in money.
You're
I'm making
making
change
change. Where were the flea markets?
all of it. So we principally had this place in Derry. There's a giant,
New Hampshire?
for Derry, New Hampshire, for my Derry people. You know the flea near the Clam Haven? Still there. I'm sure it's still there. Yeah, right there. A giant flea market in Derry on Route 28. Um, for years.
So you did that.
For years. Well, I started when I was 9 and I didn't stop until I was 18. So 9
Did
years.
it for 9 years.
9 years.
Now
Yeah.
talk about an education in a non-traditional way.
Buddy.
Hello, you learned to count my what tell me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. It's a flea market, so there's negotiation skills involved. People don't
Ah,
necessarily pay what the thing is marked for.
I'll make you an offer.
Exactly. So there's how to kibitz,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how to hold firm, how to set a price, how to get the person to the price you want when they want to pay less than that.
Of course.
How to negotiate, right? How to make change. People will try to take advantage of you because you're young.
Because you're young. I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, how did you
They're going to
what
try
was
to
the perception,
they're
right?
going to try to bamboozle you. So you learn. Did I mention Dorchester? So you learn how to communicate effectively and respectfully,
Of
but
course.
how to set a boundary. How to set a boundary with an adult and say, "No, this
Sounds
is
invaluable.
Incredibly valuable. No, it's all soft lessons. My father didn't sit me down with a lecture in Business 101. He said, sell this stuff. You know what we pay for these. Don't take less than
X.
X, whatever. One of the greatest lessons, shoplifters,
Really?
people who try to swipe stuff.
So tell me about that.
What do you do about it?
Yeah, what do you do?
What do you do about it? So, call them out.
At
99.
9,
That's
10,
it.
11, 12, and
That's
these
it.
are adults.
Yep. Call them up. Yeah, 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 exactly. I'm a child. I'm like, hey,
Hey,
I saw what you did. You got to put that back. Not to confront, not to get into a physical fight
no,
with
no,
somebody.
no.
I'm a child and that's an adult. Don't get into a physical fight with somebody. Don't be harsh. Don't be rude, but be direct. Say what you mean. Hey, I think I saw you put that in your pocket. You're going to need to put that back, sir.
Interesting.
And then whatever. If it goes beyond that, the adults weren't far away.
So now you're talking, I mean,
It's
my
massive.
brain's thinking like from the martial arts view.
Yeah.
Situational awareness. You're
Oh,
multitasking. You're
absolutely.
one person. There's people over here. You
Yeah.
got an account. You're dealing with money. You're dealing with merchandise. That's like
nuts.
education. So, from an educational standpoint,
Yeah.
again, there's this huge debate slash conversation in today's world about the value of education, traditional wise, the cost of education, people moving towards, homeschooling their kids at a younger age.
Sure.
The vocational schools are popping, right?
It's good stuff.
How do you, based on that experience at a young age, what do you think about that?
It's a great question. That really is a good question. I think there's a tendency to talk about these things as binary, this or that.
Right.
It's this and that.
I agree.
This and that. You need imagine. I mean, I learned a lot of valuable lessons and I was good at what I did. But imagine if I'd taken a short business 101 class on top of that,
Hmm.
right? And understood business from a broader viewpoint. I think you talked about vocational schools. My son went to Shawsheen. One of the things I liked about it, it was 50% theory
So,
and then 50%
practice.
putting that theory into action.
Yeah. Action. We use that
Action.
all the time, right?
Action.
Action, not words.
That's it. Action, right? I think what sometimes is missing in a traditional education is it's all theoretical. And
Right.
you don't get the rubber never hits the road until you get out into the working world. So there's always this disconnect between this is the knowledge and this is the real. No. That knowledge has to be integrated into the
Yeah.
real for it to be useful. What's the point of it otherwise? Right? So no, it's a good question. I'd like to see a more vocational element in higher education, kind of like Northeastern and their internships, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
That
they're
kind of-
what do they call it? The work
yeah,
I forget the name of it. I'm getting old. But
Yeah.
they go to school
Right.
and then they take a
They
semester
take a
and
semester
they're
to go work.
working and then they go back to school.
Absolutely. And
That's a great. I'm surprised that has not caught on with other institutions,
Mm,
and
yeah,
I agree because it's about life skills and that's what you and I do every day is about
absolutely.
teaching life skills. Is you get some kids, my own included, they're like, at these certain ages, like, I don't know how to write a check, open a bank account.
Right.
What do you mean? Do I sign here? How
Right.
about filling out, a letter? Like, do
Right.
I put a return there? It's just life skills, right? It's life skills. And I agree with you. I think it should be not one versus the other, but how the two
Integrate.
come together,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I like the vocational theory in the sense that you get the theory part of it, but you get the practical part
Yeah.
of it,
I
right?
like that too.
All
I
right,
also
cool.
think there's some skills that everybody needs that no one ever took. You have to pick them up on your own.
Right.
Negotiation. How do you interview for a job?
What's that? All right.
Everybody, it doesn't matter what job you want to do. You want to be a theoretical physicist or a garbage man. You have to interview.
100%.
You have to interview.
100%.
So, how to make a quick connection with people and how to be personable, even if it's not your top dead center.
I had my son and daughter on last week, which was an awesome
That must have
privilege,
been. I
right?
can't wait to see
And
that.
I was asking, about traditional education. And it was interesting to see the feedback that it wasn't about the formal classroom education,
Mm.
but the importance of the relationships that you form. You're on your own.
Yes.
You go through struggles and
Yes.
trials and tribulations on your own. There
Yes.
may be sports, there may be this, there
Right.
may be that. Where am I going to get my
Right.
food and all those things,
It's
which
not
was
about
interesting,
it's
right?
growth, isn't it?
It was growth.
That's
It was
it.
about growth. So you go through this flea market stage and you do it till you're 18, and then what do?
I escape.
You escape. Yeah.
I escaped
With
from
all that wisdom and knowledge.
familial slave labor. I wanted to. I had in my head to follow the path. You know, go from high school to college, get a degree in something, and then go
The
get a
cookie
job.
cutter method. We talk
Exactly.
about it all the
Exactly.
time.
It's a
But
great.
that people of our generation, that's what you did. And I say this on every show because it comes up is you go to grammar school, you go to high school, you go to
Right.
a college, then you get your job and you stay in that job for the next 30, 40 years. You
200 years.
collect your pension,
You
you
get your
get
gold
in a
watch, right?
relationship. Exactly,
Yeah.
right? So
The tracks were laid. All you got to do is get on the train.
get on the train.
It's the easy path, and that's what my parents told me. That's what they wanted
So
for me.
that's that
Yeah. Yeah.
tunnel thinking that we take pride in all the time, whether it be in our teaching or our wisdom and
Yeah.
experience, is hey, listen,
Yeah.
you got to have an open
I've
mind.
I've never been good at coloring between the lines.
True,
Never,
true,
never, never.
true.
I think the kernel of all this, right? What makes all of the things that I've done, if I've accomplished stuff, it's all because of this, is that I understand the rules. I understand them very, very well. Um, but I know when they matter to me and when they don't. I know when to step off the track and make my own path.
Mm.
That's what.
Explain a little bit more about that.
Well,
That's very valuable.
yeah. There's like we're saying, there's this career path laid out before you. How do you want to do anything? Society, I hate that word, but society. We have a general idea of how things are supposed to be done. This is how you do it. And if you do it this way, it comes out well.
It's comfortable, Steve,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you and I have
Path of
calls
least
all the path of
resistance.
least resistance.
Yeah. And I'm just too dumb to do that. I want to go the hard way, Paul.
No, that's the smart way, right? So about okay,
The problem with a cookie cutter
yeah,
is one size fits all.
right. Mm-mm.
Doesn't fit
We're
me.
all different people. We're
Absolutely.
human beings. We're not cut from the same
No.
cloth. We've got all different
No.
backgrounds, and we could go
No.
into the nature nurture type of,
It does.
uh,
Yeah.
we're different.
Correct. For
We're-
whatever reason, whatever gets us
we
here.
were made different, right? We
Absolutely.
were made different.
Absolutely.
What is it that, and it's interesting because of the generation that we grew up in, is absolutely the cookie cutter,
Mm.
follow the path, and what have you. What was it that made you different? Because that's what kids today do. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, what are you talking about? I'm not working 9 to. And I don't blame them,
No.
right? Because that inhibits creativity, innovation, and we're here to empower people, right? This
Right.
is what the show's about. This is what we do for our
Right.
living. We want to empower people of all ages and walks of life.
Yeah.
What made you, from the generation of cookie cutters, for lack of a better word, kind of like go?
Yeah.
Especially
Hey.
when your parents or your role models laid it out for you.
Here's the funny thing. And this is now a nice little full circle thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I even address it in my book, right? At the end of the day, my parents told me to do something,
Yep.
but they were doing something else.
Ah, that's right. They were working their
They were
double
hustlers.
job.
They were on the
hustling
side.
on the side.
Yeah. Now they had that 9 to 5 at the core of their
Yeah.
financial life, but they did every other thing around that. They taught me that you don't need a job to support yourself. You can make your own job. You can buy and sell things. You can open I don't know, karate school maybe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other ways to meet your financial needs. It doesn't mean you have to trade 8 hours of your day every day for a paycheck. And that
Mm.
if you are hustling, if you are selling on the side, if you are pursuing another path, then your potential for income is greater than just sticking to that, maybe greater than just sticking to that 9 to 5 grind.
And it's also definitely more food for the soul, right? It's
Abs-
passion. It's
Absolutely.
doing what you love. It's not
Absolutely.
considered a job,
Yeah.
and that. But it's so interesting. They did it. You think that they wanted a better life for you,
Oh, absolutely.
a simpler life,
Yeah, absolutely.
less crazy life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My father left the eighth grade to go make money for his family because he was growing up in the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Terrible. My mother worked in the factory school. She graduated from high school straight into the Second World War.
Ah.
Being in England and Ireland, I had great stories about her experiences in London during the Blitz, during the bombing. She was
Mm.
there when it happened, and yeah,
Yeah, that impacts your life.
oh yeah, they lived their early years were a struggle, and they wanted. I think that entire generation, they wanted the next generation to not have that
Do you think that that's an interesting word, struggle,
struggle.
right?
Yeah,
Do you think today that parents, not everybody, but in general, tend to not want their kids to struggle?
absolutely, absolutely.
I see it a lot, right? I
Yeah,
see it a lot at the dojos and things is, you know, sometimes the kids are telling the parents what to do.
yeah,
We
yeah.
talked about this before that everybody, we have the societal shift of, you're either a winner or a loser, or everybody gets a trophy, or everybody is a winner, and all that. And I get it. There's a
Sure,
time and place for all of it. I can make an
absolutely.
argument for any side.
Pro and
That's what
con,
we
any of it.
lawyers do, right?
Absolutely.
But but
Yes.
what is this? There is. I notice a lot. We don't want
Yeah.
to see the struggle, and I get it. Like
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
want you see your kids to struggle, but what
No.
is struggle? Like what does that mean? Like what did struggling for you mean? Like, and how did it help you? I mean, you've already said how did it help you, but
Yeah. Life. Here we're going to get very philosophical here.
good. Let's do it.
Life is struggle. Life is work. Life is hard sometimes.
Absolutely.
I've been blessed to have people I'm acquainted with, and even friends who were fortunate enough to grow up with everything they could monetarily want, everything they could want, all the money. Money was never a struggle for them. So they struggle with alcoholism in their family.
Yeah.
They
So it
struggle with
might not be a
depression.
financial struggle,
Sure, sure.
but we're all human, right?
Yeah, I read somewhere. God, I wish I could quote the author. I don't remember who it was, but said you are going into, coming out of, or in a crisis at every moment of your life,
Interesting.
and
Repeat that again.
you are entering,
Entering,
exiting,
exiting.
or in a crisis at every moment of your life. So I don't want my kids to needlessly struggle. Obviously,
Correct.
I don't want it. If I hit the Powerball tomorrow for $1 billion, my kids will never have to
Right,
struggle
but that's a
with money
financial
again.
struggle.
Right. That way I could take that struggle off the table for them. I would absolutely do that. But here's the thing: if life is an never ending wave of crisis and struggle, what's the best thing to teach your kids? How to thrive
During
during
chaos,
chaos.
right?
My father used to say of me, you excel in chaos. Now, he didn't mean it as a compliment, but as it turns out, it actually is. I thrive in chaos.
So this is a huge area of interest for me.
Mm,
All right,
mm.
a huge area. Let's talk about COVID.
Sure.
Right
Speaking
during
of
a
chaos.
martial arts nightmare, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
every small business, every
Everybody struggled.
individual, we
Everybody
all
struggled.
struggled.
Sure.
Right, we struggled. We had this virus, illness, whatever it is,
Sure.
was coming from different parts of the world or within our own, wherever it is. And scientists and the people we trust and the
Right.
medical community is just seeing this for the first time and trying to deal with it. And we're scared,
Sure.
right? We're scared, right?
Yeah.
Causes a lot of apprehension.
Sure.
Stay away from people, isolation,
Yeah.
all that stuff. That's chaos, right?
Wicked. Wicked
So,
chaos.
first thing I did when the school shuts down is shut down on a Friday. On Monday, we had Zoom. All the classes resumed. We had tournaments. We had theme nights. We had, birthday parties. We had intra-school tournaments all online.
Right.
Right? We
Right.
thrived.
It was absolutely same here. Thrived. And I'm sorry, I don't want to show off, but
No, show off.
they shut things down on Friday, and we had a Zoom class on Saturday.
So you're even thriving more,
Yeah,
right?
we got on it, and I have to give credit. That technology teaching class,
Yeah.
that that's where I had the tools to
Ooh.
transfer
All right.
instantly
So I
over.
want to get into that in one
Yeah,
second. So
sure.
remember this, the
Yeah, absolutely.
technology class.
Put a pin there. Yeah.
So what is it about you that had the ability to adapt, change, modify, and not collapse
Yeah.
like a lot of our brother and sister schools did, unfortunately,
Yeah.
as did many other small
Sure.
businesses? What gave you that passion? What gave you that drive? What gave you the ability to navigate the chaos?
I think at the end of the day, again, we would get so philosophical, dude. The thing, if I have an advantage, my parents instilled an advantage, or if it's genetic, I don't know what it is. It's how I handle fear.
Ah, tell me about that. You,
Okay.
you know Kathy Long, dear friend of mine,
Oh, yes.
five-time world
Oh,
champion. I don't know if you saw her episode, but
yeah.
she said
Yeah.
fear was her motivator,
Interesting.
right? And that really, I looked at it, I go,
You wouldn't think so, would you? Yeah.
right? Fear.
Fear. I There's an underlying chord to what we're talking about here today, right? Why don't people step off the tracks?
Yes.
They're hemmed in by fear. Fear of the unknown,
Yeah.
fear of
Yeah, yeah,
chaos.
yeah.
And this one, it can't be said enough. Fear of failure. Now, here's the thing about failure. 'Cause you got to embrace failure. Like Kathy embraces fear. You have to embrace failure. You have to make failure your friend, because you're going to get to know failure, whether you like failure or not.
Interesting, right?
So embrace failure, own it, bring it in close where you can control it, right? You're going to fail. So we had a meeting last week with my staff, and I said 4 or 5 times, I gave them a look: ready, fire, aim, ready, fire, aim, ready, fire, aim. And what do I mean? We don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Nope.
We have no idea where things are going to go. Zoom could have blown up in my face.
Yep.
Zoom, nobody had heard of Zoom.
I didn't.
March of 2020, March of 2020, nobody
We
knew what
rely,
Zoom
yep.
was. Nobody knew what Zoom was. Nobody had ever heard of it. I had, because of that educational opportunity. So I had a little bit of a, but none of my people did. What if they didn't want to get involved in
Well, how
this?
many people said, and how many colleagues of that we both know, they're like,
Eh,
that's not real
eh.
martial arts. I'm not doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
This is going to be over in 30 days.
And
Lo and behold.
those responses, and I don't mean to judge anybody I don't
Yeah,
know. I
no,
don't mean
no.
I don't mean
This,
to sound judgmental, but that's fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of trying something new.
no.
And I can build a wall thick and high of excuses. And it's going to look nice and solid, but that's what it is. It's excuses. Try.
Well, you said
Try.
something really interesting, and that was about fear, about bringing those, what would be considered like the unthinkable. And we'll go into your book.
Mm,
Highly recommended, by the way. And
thank you.
where can they get the book anyway?
Amazon.com.
Amazon,
Yeah.
entitled Kickstart Your Parenting: Karate Principles for Raising Strong Kids, right? It's
Yeah.
so, you know, our job is to leave a legacy, right? And
Yes.
it's about kids, right? We
Yes.
need to
Yes.
take that next generation and make them be, you say, strong kids, and we'll get into it, but it's really empowering people
Correct.
to embrace these, I'll just call them emotions, right? I'll just say fear is an emotion, whatever we
Sure it
want to
is.
call it.
Yeah.
Like your parents, like my parents, by putting us in this cookie cutter path and protecting us from the fear, from the unknown,
Right.
from the challenges, from the bad people, from that, in giving us the straight path. We never have the opportunity to deviate from that
Mm.
until
You're forced.
disaster
You will
strikes.
be forced to, won't
You
you?
will be.
You will be.
Because sooner or later,
Yep.
parents are gone.
Yeah.
Support staff,
Right.
supportive environment is gone.
Right.
And now you're like, oh, let the kid fly his or her wings. Well, wait a minute. Those
Well,
wings aren't very strong, right?
have you seen
Because
a
we did
penguin fly?
we
Yeah.
did everything for them,
Yeah, exactly.
right? So that's the struggle that you're
You
talking
have
about.
to, yeah, exactly right. And I think parents, I'm going to ask something really simple of you.
Yeah, please.
you gotta, you've got to dole out. I hate the word in this context, but it's the word. They need to experience some difficulty. They need to experience some fear. They need to experience some, and it's not a parent's job to supply these things, by the way. We know those parents too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, would have throw you in the deep end and see if you swim type. And that's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
what,
no, not
not
extreme.
at all.
We're not doing
I'm not
no.
advocating abuse or
No,
in any
no.
way or neglect. But what I am saying is that you don't have to helicopter hover over your children at all times. That's some of the challenges they have with other kids. Um, that's where they're going to begin to negotiate. That's that little argument between Timmy and Billy over the toy. That's going to that's the life lesson there, the seed of what becomes them being able to be married to a person who they disagree with sometimes.
Right.
Right?
We're not robots,
Mm.
although we'll get into that
It's
conversation
coming.
with technology. Absolutely.
It may be coming. There's a great book. I didn't write this one, fortunately, but it's called The Blessing of a Skinned Knee, and the author's name escapes me. The Blessing of a Skinned Knee. And her whole theme is really they're gonna get
Little
little pinches and
cuts and
hurts, and they're gonna have
scrapes.
fights with other kids. I'm gonna tell you a quick story here if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
My Dr. A. Schulman was my kid's pediatrician, and she had this grid on the back of her door with names on the grid. And I was just like sitting there looking at it while we're doing a checkup. And she was a Jewish Swiss, escaped the Nazis.
Wow.
Yeah, she escaped to Switzerland and then to
Wow,
the United
that's
States to escape the Nazis in the Second World War. She was like in her 80s and still practicing. It was amazing, a wonderful one.
awesome.
So I'm looking at the grid, and I noticed that the titles are written in Swiss German. And I told you I speak a little German.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In Swiss German, but I don't understand what it
Like
looks
what
like it says biter, scratcher, kicker, slapper. I'm like, that can't be right in a
in a
doctor's office.
pediatrician's
Yeah,
office?
what are you talking? So it's Dr. Ashman, do you mind? What is that? She goes, oh, when parent comes and tells me that the kid's a biter, I put him on the grid and we make a play date with another biter.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
Or another kicker, another scratcher.
Yeah.
And she says, I send the kids, they have a play date with another kid who acts like they act, cured.
Interesting.
Adverse
Interesting.
adversity is not something to be completely avoided. Adversity is something to be like
Embraced.
failure,
Right, but
embraced.
that's a great way to look at it
Mhm.
because you're looking at these emotions, I'm calling them, that are ostracized in a child's
Right,
brain
right.
and behavior from their parents or
Sure.
teachers or whatever. Of course, they're going to be afraid of it. It's not part of their routine.
No.
What prompted you to write the book?
Well, you know, because we work with children, we've worked with children for close to 40 years now. Parents will I come to me and ask me for my advice on stuff, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, we wear many hats, right?
we do. We do. And I know the first thing that flashes through my head is I teach people to punch and kick things. The hell do I know about
But you
parenting?
know as well as I do, we
Sure,
do a heck of a lot
we do.
more than that, right?
We do. We do indeed. Yeah, that's always the humble
The
vision of it,
youth,
but
yeah.
there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
So I raised 3 children of my own,
Yep.
and I've been around thousands of children at this point in time. I've talked to thousands of parents about their parenting struggles, and I kind of the way I raised my own kids and the way I treat kids in my dojo is kind of based on some kind of basic principles, some guiding, compass points
Yeah, yeah,
that I
yeah.
can point at. So that's the thing. When you don't know what to do, you go back to your guiding principles.
Right, right.
And the guiding principle, one of the first ones I talk about in the book is the principle of Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese word, and what it kind of means, it's hard. All the ones I chose are the ones that are hard to translate.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah.
So Kaizen basically means constant incremental improvement.
Right.
Right?
Not
how
going from 0 to 100.
right, exactly. Again, I hate the phrase "our society." I really hate it.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you go on YouTube, right, and in the top line across the top of YouTube, you will see how to lose 300 pounds in 5 minutes. You'll see how to pack on 2,000 pounds of muscle in a month. You'll see how to accomplish huge things with no effort.
Immediate gratification.
Immediate gratification.
That's what society has
And
become.
and I've never met anybody who will sit down across from me and say, "I want some immediate gratification." Nobody knows that about themselves,
No.
but it's a form of hypnosis when everything around you is promising immediate gratification. It gets in your head. One of the things that we do for people, we have these marvelous arts that the foundation of them, in the DNA of them,
I like that.
is working
Yeah.
over time
Over a long time.
for a goal and seeing almost imperceptible improvement. You and I, we can talk about this. No one's listening to us here. How many students? Zero improvement. And then
Yeah. Different
plateau.
times, pop.
Right.
Incremental changes.
But incremental, even if you don't see it happening incrementally, those incremental changes accumulate over
And
time.
it's funny how we have to educate parents, because I'll have parents say, and I'm sure you too as well, how come I took him here to for him to be more confident and he's not yet? Again, the immediate gratification, right?
You think I got a tube of confidence I
Y-
can just inject?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, you wouldn't have to stay for so long, but it would cost a lot more. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
No, the only way to change behavior is spaced repetition over time, incremental change,
Go back to
spaced,
the repetition.
spaced repetition
And
over
that's what
time.
we do all the time. And it's
Mhm.
muscle memory. We talk about that
Mhm.
right when we kick and
Yeah.
punch. But that's what creates and fosters, when I say empowering children, the confidence, the ability to step out of that
Mhm.
cookie cutter mentality,
Yeah.
the ability to, and I really like what you said, to embrace those emotions which are considered to be the devil,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because they're not the devil.
No.
And we're going to encounter them all the time
Your whole
in
life.
our life,
Your whole life.
in our
Your
whole
whole
life,
life. So
right?
make friends of them.
So you've been in the military.
Mhm.
So how did were you in the Air
Air
Force?
Force.
Air
Yeah.
Force.
Yeah.
Okay.
The honor of serving Big Blue.
Good, good. Well, thank you for your
That
service. I
was,
mean,
it
we
was a
don't,
pleasure.
well,
They
you
paid
know,
me. I got a nice suit to wear. It was fun.
I just think that, and I'm sure you agree that, you know, while I have not been in the military, I revere those that were willing to risk their life for our country. So thank
Appreciate it.
you. So, what did your military experience? How did that shape? Because how old were you when you went in the Air Force?
18.
Eight. Oh, so
Right,
you were
right
young,
out of high school.
right
Yeah.
out of high school.
Right
So
out of
you
high
were
school.
young.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So then you go in there. Tell me about, like, how do you think the military experience? I think you said you were helicopter rescue
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
medics,
Yeah. Yeah.
medical
I,
stuff.
I was a flight engineer and crew chief on a helicopter that was used for rescue. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Which
Awesome.
was
So
super cool.
without going into the whole,
Yeah.
we
Getting
could
into the
spend the whole
bugs.
show, and definitely I want to have you back and we can talk about this. But how did the military experience shape your life? You had mentioned that, um, you choose the right words, but something to the effect that you were rewarded for being
Yes.
told what to do and you just
In
doing
doing
it.
it.
But
Yeah.
other people had a difficult time with that.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
Well, I think some of it is about my upbringing. My parents love them, obviously love them to death, and the lessons taught to me were very valuable and made me who I am. Absolutely. But that said, not not people who were easily pleased, not people who were big with compliments, not no attaboys,
No
no
touchy feely boy.
none of that, none of that.
Ah,
No
okay.
good job, you
Business.
handled that well, none of that.
Okay.
They weren't raised that way. They didn't raise me that way.
Got it. Yep. That's
So
fair.
that's okay. I'm not complaining. It was what it was.
Right.
It was what it was. So I get in the Air Force, right? And there are clearly defined objectives They want something from you, and they tell you exactly what they want.
So they give you the solution.
Yep.
And not the solution, but
Yeah.
they give you the marching orders,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Absolutely. Your T-shirts are supposed to sit inside your Foot Locker, and they have to be folded exactly into a 12 by 12 square, and in it goes. If it's a 12 by 12 and a half square, you did it wrong. Very clear cut, black and white. This is right. That's wrong. Do it right. Okay. And then they said, "Hey, good job." What?
Someone gave you a compliment
What?
for following the orders.
For just doing what I was
Other
asked.
people didn't.
Well,
A lot of people
a lot of
struggle.
people struggle.
Why?
I think that one,
I mean,
the
you want to talk about black
standard.
and white. That's
Yeah.
black and white.
Well, the standard is high.
Of course.
A lot is expected of you. You're put into a situation of mental and emotional overwhelm.
Correct.
Right?
Right.
They're on you. And I was in the Air Force, which some of our listeners and watchers will say that wasn't even the military. You
Right.
should, right? Marines scoff at me.
That's
Okay, fine.
That's
We all
okay.
serve in our own way.
We all make an impact.
I look better in blue.
That's
Uh, but there's you get hit with a lot of chaos. There's our
your
favorite word
chaos
again. There's your chaos again. As my father said, I thrive in chaos. Well, yeah, I did. I did thrive in chaos. I could handle it. I could chop out. I realized some of the harassment that the instructors put on you it's part of the show.
It's the game.
It's the game. Play it. Do what you're told.
But again, I drive back to our initial conversation is
Yeah.
you thrived in that
Yeah.
atmosphere where others did not.
I still do.
I know you do.
I still do. The crazier,
Oh, I know.
the crazier things are around me, the more comfortable I am with what's going on. I don't even know. I don't know how to put a finger on that. I don't know how to instill it, distill it and give it to people because it's just who I am. When things, how do I put this? When things are at their most overwhelming,
Yeah.
I, the best comes out of me. The best of me, whatever that
Love
is,
it.
comes out of me.
I love it.
So the service, what happened with me there that's instructive here for parents, kids,
Yeah.
is that when I got there, there was a clear recognition and reward system. When I did well, I was told I was doing well,
Yep.
and I got promoted before I got out of boot camp. I was airman first class before I even graduated. Not uncommon. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
But you were thriving in that
Loving it,
very
doing what I was told, and
stressful, chaotic environment.
I caught the attention of an officer. In fact, Colonel Myers was his name. He went on to become one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He was a general in the Joint Chiefs. I think he might have
Really?
even been the head for a short time.
Wow.
Myers. So Myers was in charge of training in 1980, summer of 1980 when I was there. So I got a chance to meet him. He knew of everybody. They know every recruit. They know something about everybody. So he sort of tracked me, and there was a conversation with him. I had gone in and I wanted to be a police officer originally. That's what I'd wanted to do.
Like military police? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they called SPs, security police in the Air Force.
Yep.
Yeah. So that had been the track I was going to go on, and I got to meet with Myers before graduation, and he looked at my resume and how I'd done. And he said, how do you feel? How would you feel about rescue? I'm like, 18.
No, I don't know.
That there's we have a shortage of people in rescue, and you could do well there.
Yep.
You could do really well there. And I'm like, "Well, okay." He goes, "All right, so we're going to put you, instead of going on to the police thing, how
Yep.
about we're going to put you in this,
Gotcha.
and you're going to start this series of training
Yep.
schools." And so I did, and I did that. I then met a Major McCarter, who ended up being my commanding officer for the rest of my career there. And McCarter took a liking to me also for the same reasons, because you asked me to do something and I did it. There's a thing. I know you'll appreciate this. There are people who just they clock out and they go home.
Yeah, that's the 9 to 5.
Yeah, they
That's
clock out.
part of the cookie cutter.
Is the job done?
Is it ever done?
Well, it's never done. But if you were given a task and you did it at 90% completion,
But it was 5 o'clock.
yeah, do you clock out and go?
But see, that's what I mean, and that's the
Yeah.
essence of what I'm trying
Yeah.
to share with the audience is that while there is value
Mhm.
in this cookie cutter thing, right? It's all about, like you were explaining, both sides,
Yeah.
binary, right? It's That's fine. I'm not judging anybody,
Sure. Yeah.
right? We need those 9 to 5s, 8:30. I did that for 32 years,
I did it for a short time too.
right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did it for 32 years until the light bulb went off in my head, right? It's like bing.
You escaped it.
Yeah. So there's value in that, but it's also very limiting.
It is. It is. If and the folks who work for me, I love them all. I'm so blessed. So blessed. They're wonderful people. None of them is a click and go. None of them. They get the job done. They stay. The dojo means something to them. It's important to
But
them.
that's leadership from you, Steve.
Yeah.
That's leadership from you. Have you ever, and that's mentoring. And we
Yeah.
talk about this all the time.
Mhm.
If you were to name, or do you have someone in your life? Did you have someone in your life growing up during those formative years that you, other than your parents, because
Mhm.
obviously your
Oh
parents are
yeah.
huge, that would be considered a mentor?
Several.
Several.
I'll tell you what, if there's a strength, if I'm sure people listening to this are like, give me something I can do.
Yeah,
Here's something you can do. I've always had mentors. I
absolutely.
still do now.
Yep.
Well, you were one.
Yeah. But it's
Right?
so true. We need to be held accountable,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, you need accountability. You need to fresh eyes on
You
the
need a
things that
fresh
you're doing.
eye.
Yeah.
Why do people get so intimidated? Like, oh, that's too weak for me. Like, oh, I have someone will say to me, I have a life coach, whatever that means, that's fine,
Oh,
who helps me navigate through XYZ. I say, that is
it's
amazing.
amazing.
Congratulations that you had the
Yeah.
foresight to see that maybe you
Yeah.
didn't have it, figured out in this particular
Yeah.
area of your life. That's awesome. Why do people get so, oh, I, I, I don't need anybody to tell me
I think
what to
it's
do and
yeah.
how to do and blah, blah,
I
blah. The
think it's
ego,
ego and what we're gonna come back full circle again.
right?
Fear.
Fear.
Fear of being judged. Fear of being judged.
Fear of being judged. Yeah, it's fear of being judged. For some reason, it's a sign of weakness.
Right. My dad said something to me, and I modified it, and I said it to my kids over and over again, and I sometimes say it to my young students when I get a chance to. I said something to my dad like, "People are gonna, it's people,
People are going to what?
people are gonna think,
Oh, yeah.
oh,
People are going to think.
I can't do that. People will think."
Yeah.
And my dad goes, "People?
What people?
I'll be more polite than my father was. People don't care
They don't give a hoot.
about you or
Yes.
anything you do. Don't ever modify your behavior because someone else might criticize it."
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, you and I see this all the time
Yeah.
just from being wiser and older, right? It's
More
you,
older than
right?
wiser, but
Well, yeah,
yes.
yeah. But we see so many, whether it be kids that we're
Yeah.
teaching or our own kids or
Yeah.
relatives or just neighbors or whatever, is, oh, what will this one think of me?
Yeah.
I can't do that because this one's gonna. It's like
Right.
everything is like people's life is being navigated by what others' perception
Yeah.
is.
No, this is not permission to run naked through the neighborhood. We all know where the boundaries are. I'm talking about, like, to go back to your question, why won't people take coaching? Because they're afraid of criticism. They're afraid to be told that what they're doing may not be the best way to do it. We have, we, we have, um, this thing in the United States, which is a good thing. It's at the root of what we're talking about here. This individualism. I'm responsible for my life, and I'm responsible
I
for
got
my
my own free will,
bingo, right?
right?
But then you get a lot of people who get stuck in the corners, and they're like, "I'm doing it right. I'm good at this," and maybe you are, but someone having a fresh set of eyes, right? Having a third party perspective on what you're doing.
Don't you welcome that?
What do we say? Iron sharpens iron, right?
True.
Iron sharpens iron. Uh, I think if I can trace, or if I can pull down one string of how I became successful, is that I'm immune to criticism. I'm immune to criticism. I I I look at the source of the criticism. I look at the intent of the criticism. If the source and the intent are not helpful, we let that go. No, there will be people who criticize you who have no right to, and they're criticizing you for the wrong reason.
And you know why they're criticizing it, right? Like,
Uh,
why are you working? You get this, and I'm sure you have. Why are you working on a Saturday or a Sunday? Why would you be doing this? How come? Oh, you have X number of students. You must be rich. You must, like, no one understands what goes on under the hood.
no,
They don't know,
no.
right?
I
When a,
didn't know when I started this.
you're a musician too,
I
right?
am. Yeah.
What do you play?
I'm a
Guitar,
bass player.
bass player,
Yeah.
right? Getting out there on stage and performing, that's the easy part. Well, maybe nerve-wracking and all that. I get that, but there's emotional
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
What does it take beforehand? The
Stuff.
practices, the mess
It's
up on
yeah.
the tune,
Oh God.
the conflict with other members of a band. If you're in a band, that
Yeah,
whole,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like we talked about,
Every hour on stage represents 12 hours behind the
behind the
scenes. Like,
scenes,
yeah, absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
And that's why people,
They don't understand this.
they don't.
No, they don't
They just
understand.
see the perceptional
Right.
result.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think this goes back to kata, which we performs that we teach, right? Is that for when you see a kid come, I will love the tournaments. I love watching
Oh, it's
them.
an honor to have you.
6 at 4. We were doing 4-year-olds
4
in
years
March.
old getting out there. Hey, my name is.
Adorable, adorable. And then what they stand up there in this huge room that's so loud, being watched by 300 people they don't even know, and they throw out a form, and what you're looking at in the 45 seconds there in front of you is something that took them hundreds of hours. And
Crying and not wanting to go in class, and the mother and father or significant whoever, getting on the mat with them, but
it's
people don't
yeah.
see that,
No,
right?
they got to look behind for every well done form. There's 10,000 broken ones that happened before it, right?
Ah,
Right? Right.
right.
And if you're like me, it's not 10,000 before it. It was 20,000 before it. I don't. I tell my own students. What makes me a good instructor is I never had any talent for this stuff. All I had was work,
Hard work,
hard work. I
perseverance.
just didn't quit.
You were committed.
I'm too dumb to quit.
No, you're very bright. So
Thank
you're
you.
a musician.
Yeah.
You're a retired Air Force.
Yeah.
You're a flea market salesman at 9.
Retired.
Yeah, you know, 50 years in the making of
Yeah.
martial arts. Author,
Thank you.
Kickstart Your Parenting, Amazon.
Yeah.
And you also have this. You can tell me. I know you got certificates in this, but
Oh Lord.
nutrition and health and like
Yes.
what about that?
Okay.
And we don't
So
have a lot of time left, but
yeah.
tell me.
So I've always been interested. It's related to what we do in the dojo.
Yep.
I've always been interested in health and performance, physical health, physical performance. This comes. We're talking about my father a lot today. This comes from my dad. He had his first heart attack when he was like 48 years
Ooh,
old. He had a major heart attack,
young.
and they didn't know as much about
No.
the stuff in the 70s when he had his heart attack. So my father was a beast. He was a physical specimen. Um, he was about 5'4". He was not a big man, but he could. Can you imagine someone 5'4" dunking a basketball when they're in their like mid 40s?
Crazy.
Saw my father do it. Yeah, just very, very, very athletic guy. And then he had this heart attack,
Boom.
all taken away from him, destroyed him, destroyed the man, unfortunately. Because at the time, it didn't have to, but he didn't know that. And his doctors weren't much help at the time because they didn't know either.
Reactive, not preventative.
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I watched my father like the last, he had his first major heart attack at 48. He had his last heart attack at 68 and left us at the time, unfortunately. Yeah. Um, and I watched that decline. And as I watched it, I'm in my teens, you know, I was taking martial arts. I just started martial arts, and I'm like, I'm not going to go like this. I'm not going to go like this. I'm going to be in the absolute best health I can be and just drop dead, probably on the dojo floor in a gi, right? So it began this passion for medical stuff. And I didn't have the chops to be a doctor. I'll be honest. My focus was never on grades, so I didn't have the grades to go to med school. That wasn't going to happen for
Right.
me. But I was always a little medically adjacent. The rescue, I worked with
Yeah, yeah.
paramedics and stuff there brilliantly. I got to help with some of that, which was cool. I got cross trained because the crew.
Cross
I got
trained.
cross trained in
Yeah.
combat medicine, which was kind of cool. Just a little bit,
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
nothing too serious, just enough to be helpful. So I've always had an interest in it, and like my dad, I have this driving need to always be pushing forward for something. And I took great advantage during COVID. All these certificate programs and stuff, the prices dropped through the floor
Right,
on
because they
these
had
things.
nobody.
Yeah, they didn't have anybody enrolling, so I started with my. I had
You
this
didn't
time
feel
at home.
bad for yourself and sit in your living room and watch TV?
No,
No. You took
this
advantage
is a
of
mini
it.
vacation.
It was a
It
vacation,
was a
right?
little bit of a
Yeah, yeah,
vacation.
yeah.
It was a little, I was, running classes, and like I'd have as soon as class is over, I'd go get a cocktail. I'm like, this,
Yeah, something's wrong here.
I could get used to this.
Yes.
So, but I started taking certificate courses in stuff. So I got certified. It's for one, two, three, four different kinds of diet certifications to be able to counsel people
In
for their dietary goals.
dietary goals.
Yeah, and then once I got there, I said that the biggest. I tried to write a couple of articles back in the day, going back to the authorship, for a couple of magazines about my theories about exercise, and they won't talk to you if you don't have certain designations.
Right.
And the designation is CSCS, which is Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist. It's the master's degree of exercise
Yep.
science, basically. I studied and I took the test and I passed it. So I got my CSCS, and then I got a couple of other certificates that were more towards corrective exercise for people who are coming back from injury
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
and that kind
yeah.
of, so a little bit kind of what a PT does, but no, I'm not certified to be a PT, and that's okay because
Yeah.
I can do things. I don't. What we do is not prescribed by a doctor, so it's not constrained by what a medical professional thinks is useful.
Sure.
I can go to many more pillars to have many more
Do you think
tools.
that, Steve, that a lot of people now, whether the traditional medicine or not, and I know some are and
Mm,
some not, do you think a lot of people, though, because you worked in an office for quite a long time
mm.
with Janine and her specialty,
Yeah.
we got to have Janine on the show.
Yes, we
She's
do.
amazing,
She really is.
Um, do you think more people are looking for holistic, um, types of ways to
Yeah.
either assist, prevent?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think there's a great need for it. There's a lot of demand for it. I think the challenge that industry has is, like you said, 10 years with Janine in her office, a chiropractor, acupuncturist, and then using my diet skills
Yeah,
and exercise
great
skills as the
team.
adjunct. Brilliant stuff. We did brilliant stuff together. Um, there's the challenge there is that once you get into alternative medicine, it can become very alternative very quickly.
What do you mean?
It gets spooky. You'll get folk. There's a lot of charlatanism
Okay.
out there, if you
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
I mean.
yeah.
There are people selling stuff that's just loony. It's
Yeah.
just insane. Now, while we're alternative, everything we did was science based. Everything we did was backed up
Data
by
driven.
science, exactly data driven, and data not dogma is what I used to
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
people.
And
Data
people,
not
at
dogma.
the end of the day, people have to do their own research, right?
Definitely, and know what, if you're going to do your own research, please don't be offended, anyone. Watching a bunch of YouTube videos that tell you what you already believe is not research. Look for people who tell you you're wrong. Back to mentorship. Look for sources that say the opposite of what you already believe and
Exactly.
listen to them.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's still your money. You spend it where you want.
Right.
But explore dissension. Explore people who think differently from you. You can learn something from them. Maybe you can learn better how to argue against them. I don't know. But back to alternative medicine.
Yeah.
I fold my alternative medicine, my expertise in corrective exercise. I fold that into my karate training now. So my students get all the benefits of the traditional stuff. But when you see impingements, I see shoulders that aren't working right,
Yes.
you can jump right on that and help that person get that mobility back.
So
Uh,
you wear so many hats. We talked about so many different specialties and
if I was
areas.
only good at any of them.
Knowing you for as well as I know you, you're awesome at all of them,
Thank you.
and
Appreciate that.
it tells a lesson. And I guess while we're winding down now, I would like for you to reflect because at the end of the day, like I mentioned before, we owe and have an obligation
Mm.
to those that are younger than us,
Yes.
whether it be children, whether it be the 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, whomever, and even people that are older than us, right?
Mm.
We've been afforded a phenomenal path. And granted, it was hard work.
Sure.
We had role models. We had
Sure.
supportive parents. We took the initiative to better ourselves. We weren't comfortable. We lived out of the box. We were
Mm.
creative, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you could give two pieces of advice
Yeah.
to either a parent or someone that is mentoring someone, or just an individual in and of themselves that may be struggling in an area of their life,
Mm.
what advice or two pieces of advice based on your life history
Mm.
that allowed you to flourish in chaos
Okay.
would you give them? Two of them.
2. Number 1, paramount. Trust yourself.
Trust yourself.
Trust yourself. You can do it. You can do it. And if you can't do it, you'll figure out how to fix it,
Got it.
how to get around it. Under, over, around. You'll find a way. You'll find a way if you trust yourself.
Got it.
Don't be hemmed in by fear. Right? Trust yourself. And 2, don't be hemmed in by fear. I think that I watch people make fear-based decisions constantly,
Absolutely.
constantly. And no, I don't want to fool anybody that I'm fearless frump over here.
No, we're
I'm
all
not
get
at all.
afraid.
But
Absolutely.
I look we look at situations. We look at a decision that we're going to make, and sometimes my first impulse is, oh, hey, wait, breathe. You can always do nothing. You can always do nothing.
That right.
You can always default back to nothing. You can always push it down the road. But let's look, if we were going to do something, if we weren't afraid, what would we do? If you weren't afraid to fail, what would you do? Okay, go do that and trust yourself that you
Awesome.
can.
Great advice. Well, I hope you'll come back on the show, Steve. This was
I have-
anytime I have people on the show that I think I know, I go, "What? Is this the person I've been talking to every week?" Pleasure and honor.
This was wonderful.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you for the
insight. I
honor.
really appreciate it and look forward to seeing you soon.
I can't wait.
Thanks.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye-bye.